angels selected? No. Did Allah put angels in a committee to choose who will be the Khalifa? No. Allah appointed Adam as his Khalifa in the earth. There was no election, selection, there was no runoff, there was no polling, there was no advertising, there was no voting. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala establishes his Khilafat in this way and in this way alone. Khilafat cannot be gotten by killing, bombing, terrorizing. Now recently we've heard that they're demanding the Iraqis should give up their women for the Mujahideen. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. This being the case, this being the case that these people have invented their own religion and have invented their own means of attaining Khilafat. We're here to tell them that anything other than the Sunnah of Allah in establishing Khilafat is doomed to failure. Establishing Khilafat in a way other than Allah has approved will lead to failure. So this being the case, we need to really, we ourselves realize that Khilafat, leadership, is only from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is not something that is elected by human beings, selected by human beings. You cannot bomb your way to Khilafat. You cannot kill your way to Khilafat. You cannot terrorize your way to Khilafat. And these actions of these takfiri, non-Muslim, because that's what these people are. We should make it clear to our neighbors and our schoolmates that what's going on in Iraq and in Syria is not Muslims doing this. These are fasiq people doing this. People who are corrupt. People who are criminals. But this fasiq, it means more than just being corrupt. This fasiq, it means that not only are they corrupt, but they're spreading the corruption. None of these groups that have invaded Iraq or have been fighting in Syria are Muslims. If you hold that the way you get power is to kill Muslims, innocent Muslim women and children, to blow people up, to terrorize, if this is what your idea of Islam is, if you think that you can put out a request that people should hand over their daughters to you, this is not Islam. This goes against the most fundamental tenets of Islam. Quran says if you kill one person, it's like you've killed the entire human family. These people are killing thousands and thousands, unjustly. Targeted killings, kidnappings, and na'uzu billah, this tajawuz against young ladies also. So we should make it very clear. These people have nothing to do with Islam. They are non-Muslims. They have left the fold of Islam, and this is why the ulama, like Ayatollah Sistani, like Ayatollah Khamenei, and most of our other ulama, if not all, I've only read some of the fatwa of our big ulama, have said that fighting against these people in Iraq or in Syria is a religious obligation for those who are there. I want to make this very clear. We say for those who are there because we are not like these other fasiq groups that will send people to fight there. There's more than enough manpower there to fight there. There's no need for anyone to leave from here and to go there to fight. We have more than enough manpower, equipment, know-how on the ground there to deal with a ragtag group of fasiq. It's nothing. It can be easily handled by the brothers and sisters who are there. However, it is a religious obligation for them to confront these corrupt and corrupting individuals. And it is just as equally an obligation on us Because we have a very important position, and we will finish here, inshallah. We have a very important position that often we overlook and we don't realize that. We are positioned in the United States of America where anything that happens here spreads to the rest of the world. We have an obligation to raise up a cry here against these groups and these actions. Because the technology, the media that is available here is unavailable in the rest of the world. And if Muslims in America unify and put out a unified message, still here in Tampa I see people with these Free Syria bumper stickers on their car. And it's shameful for Muslims to be driving around with Free Syria bumper stickers on their car, when the people who are killing innocent Syrian civilians is nothing but a group of corrupt thugs that only put the name of Islam on their movement. Syria was never in need of any freeing for it to be needed to be free. It was already free. Iraq, the Iraqis were never in need of anyone to come in. Now I'm sure that in the north of Iraq, those who sided with the Takfiri, corrupting individuals, have regretted their move. And there's no doubt about that they have regretted what they've done. So the situation should be made very clear. And we shouldn't feel that only they have an obligation to fight, and we don't. We have an obligation to fight also. Obligation on our end is propaganda. Obligation on our end is tablighat. Obligation on our end is to make known the real situation. Who is really perpetrating these acts? Where has the funding for these terrorist groups come from? In Syria, the government was supporting ISIS. In Iraq now, our own government is getting ready to fight them. So on one side of the border, you give them guns, and on the other side of the border, you kill them. It shows the nifaq and the hypocrisy of all of these governments and groups around the world that are supporting them. In Qatar, those mala'in in Saudi Arabia, may Allah curse the kingdom and its rulers. That they have caused this, and all of their allies in the Gulf states, that they have caused this tragedy to occur in Syria and in Iraq by funding these takfiri, fasiq, misled, un-Islamic groups. And as Malcolm said, evil chickens will come home to roost. And we should be looking for that. That all of this money that has been spent and energy that has been spent to kill innocent people, those chickens will return home to roost, as chickens always do. When night falls, they will go back to where they came from, and they will lay their eggs there. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us and to guide us in this very tumultuous time, especially for the followers of Ahlul Bayt. Ya Allah, we ask of you, protect your lovers, protect the lovers of your Prophet and of his family in Pakistan, in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Syria, and all over the world where the Shias have come under tyranny and oppression. Ya Allah, we ask of you to cut the hands of the enemies of Islam away from its people. Ya Allah, we ask of you to give them a sudden and immediate defeat, inshallah. وَلَا حَوْلَ وَلَا قُوَّةَ إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ الْعَلِيِّ الْعَظِيمِ.
اللهم صل